Welcome to week 12 in your meditation series for the Dream Builder program. Oh my, you've come all the way to week 12. So let's take a deep breath together. And let's go back to that moment when you decided to say yes to yourself and you invested in yourself by means of this program. Good news. Even though we now move into week 12, you own the Dream Builder system. I don't know anyone who learns perfectly the entire system in 12 weeks. I've studied how the infinite brings transformation for many, many years. Over 40 years. And as you work with the energies of each of the lessons, you're going to find that your ability to have an idea, shape it into a dream, and turn it into a result is going to get easier and easier and easier for you in the same way that practicing walking made it easier and easier. Learning to drive a car was very clunky and confusing at first, but it's probably the way you travel easily and most often now, because it gets you where you want to go fastest. And so it is by understanding how real transformation occurs and working with it according to code, the way it works, the way you work with electricity according to code. You own this now. Take a deep breath. Send a gratitude and appreciation to that part of you way back when, a few weeks ago, 12, 13 weeks ago, that said yes. And let's remind ourselves now of the 3 phases of dream building, because today there's the 4th phase that completes it all. Phase 1, blueprinting. You look at your longing, you look at your discontent in the 4 areas of life where you are creating results anyway. You have results in your health, you have results in your relationships, in your vocation, your time and money. You look at that and say, how much freedom is here? Am I in love with these results? What would I love to change? How long have those results been there? And it's not easy to look square in the face of how long I've said I was going to do this for my body. I was going to do this in my relationships. I was going to do this in my work. I was going to change this in my time freedom or my money freedom. And you look at how long it's been like that and what it's costing you. And you decided, I'm going to change. I'm going to do an experiment with this. And you were invited into an experiment and you said yes for yourself. Give thanks to that part of you. So you shaped it into an image of what a life you would love living. You then tested that dream. Does it give me life? Does it align with my core values? Would it cause me to grow? Do I need help from a higher power? Is there good in this dream for others? And you pass the test. And then you practice a new kind of deserving that doesn't come through other people's eyes or your history or your education or how you look. It comes by the very fact that you're being breathed by a power that's inviting you into a greater life. And you decided for this life. And then you began to do the process of bridging the patterns that are in you to be commensurate with, harmonious with the pattern of thinking and vibration that's a match for your dream in the same way you change the channel on your TV. You don't like a program you're watching, you change the frequency. You don't like the radio channel, you change the frequency. You get a wrong number, you dial in a new frequency. You're ready to evolve your life. So you lay down the track in your mind. You shift out of fear down to worry. You shift out of stinginess and contraction into generosity. You shift from harboring old resentments into greater and greater forgiveness, releasing your hold on others and their past and you and your past. That was then, this is now. Wishing everyone in your past, whenever they cross your mind, you wish them well. It has nothing to do with wanting them back in your life. It has nothing to do with approving of the behaviors that either of you or any of you exhibited. It has to do with freedom now. It was all part of my learning process. And here I am. And you begin then, as you've bridged to the frequency, you begin to build through actions. You learn to tap into the infinite mind, into the infinite with the question. Same way you tap into the internet with a question. In the infinite, you ask, what could I do today to move me in the direction of my dream? You stay on the frequency of that question, generate 5 to 10 ideas, pick the one that you're willing to activate today. Ideas take you nowhere, action on ideas take you someplace. You harness those ideas, you harness that energy, and you take a step, and you're doing that. Miss a day, you do it next day, but you don't let yourself off the hook, because this dream matters to you. You're building a fire of desire under that dream every single day. You learn to work with and come from that voice of inspired insight. Take action steps. Build partners of believing into your life, and be a partner of believing for others. Move out of conversations that are contractive and hang out in conversations that are expansive. You've learned to reframe failure. You've learned to change your idea about what that means. It's all part of the learning process. You didn't feel like a failure when you fell down learning to walk or any other thing. All the places where you feel like you failed were part of learning that's available to you now. We've all had failure in our life. I speak to large audiences frequently, and I'll ask the question, how many of you have ever had a failure or more in your life? Every hand goes up. So we discharge that, embarrassment or shame about having had failure in our life. We've had learning in our life. And we borrow from Thomas Edison's playbook. I never had a failure. It was all feedback. All feedback. And as we continue to move from this pattern of transformation, this proven, reliable, repeatable system that produces transformation, we begin to see results changing. As we stay in it, our results over time must and will, by spiritual law, take the shape and form of the vision we're holding. And you can borrow my belief on that. It's actually more than a belief, it's knowing. I've seen it again and again and again and again with anyone who's willing to apply this system and stay in it. And then what happens? The most natural thing that is going to happen. Your results shift, and you move into ever more shapes and forms in your results of the life you absolutely love living. You harvest your dream, and you enter into the stage of dream building called becoming. You blueprint, you bridge, you build, you become. You become the person who's living that dream. You become that person first inside yourself, and you become that person afterwards in all the ways it shows up in your life. Everything that's been in your life was an exact match to who you were being. And as you've done this process, you've more and more become your dream. And as you've more and more become your dream, the strength of that vibration, the union of that vibration, the alignment of that vibration became a magnetic field, drawing unto you all ideas, circumstances, situations, people, surprise, support, everything required for what you held in mind to become what you're holding in your hand, what your life shows. And how grateful you are, yes, for all these things. And even more so are you grateful for who you've become in the process. How much more of yourself you know. How much more connected to the very power breathing you are. Having the dream was the portal, the doorway, for all the gifts of you and the very power breathing you in a greater connection, in a greater alignment, for the purpose of a greater life that had your name on it. And you continue in the process, celebrating the life as you go forward. Blueprinting, bridging, building, becoming. You become the very dream you've had in your heart. It's yours now. Continue in this process. Continue in these meditations. Continue to be a dream builder. There's no limit. Only greater and greater and greater life.